Hello everybody, welcome to a quick look at the Return to Helgen mod. Now this is Helgen as you may remember it, and it's got a new gate on your notice. It's because I've already triggered the quest to update it, but if we just get a bit of altitude here so you can see inside it, you'll see one of the things I did to maintain compatibility. There you go, that's the Helgen that you know, ruined, right? That's a massive quest location, that is. Messing with that could muck up your start of the game and everything, so I decided not to bother. There's too many trigger boxes in the way. You can't see them, they're invisible in the game, but there's thousands of them right in front of me now. Right, they're invisible, you see them in the editor, you can't place a single nail on the ground without running into about 3 or 4 trigger boxes, so it's very difficult to work in that environment without moving things around, and as soon as you start moving things around you start breaking quests. So I decided not to go that route. Plus, if I'd edited that location, this mod would only work from the start of the game. And most people want to run this with their existing characters, so this is what I did to stop, well, to avoid causing problems like that, and also to allow you to run this mod whenever you want. Just watch. We're going to enter Helgen. Looks a bit different, doesn't it? This is because this is in its own well space. The well space is actually exactly the same spot Helgen is supposed to be in, but it's brand new. This has got no trigger boxes on it, it's not used by any quest yet. There's nothing in here that will break the main quest or the Skyrim main quest starter game quest or anything. This is entirely my own area. I can do anything I want in this area, including put up gigantic signs saying buy bananas here, without spoiling anything of the main quest. Only problem is, if you look here, that bit of the tree there, that's a LOD, right, level of detail. You're only supposed to see that in the distance. It's a bug that's been with us since Fallout 3, another 5-year-old quest bug, well, 5-year-old game bug that Beth didn't bother fixing. More workarounds for making your world spaces, can't do anything about that. Basically that's there. I just stuck a tree on top of it because there's supposed to be a tree there, but that LOD isn't supposed to appear. If you look at the trees in the distance here, the low quality ones are LODs and the high quality ones are real trees. I actually had to rebuild the outside of Helgen in order to make it look like it was part of Skyrim. But one thing I didn't want to do, I didn't want to regenerate the LODs, because the LODs, you know, despite the tree issue, give you a view of Skyrim. Actually, let's have a look. If I was to actually just show you quickly, you'll see Skyrim outside the walls. That is the same LOD that gives you that tree bug is giving you the distance view as well. So it's an acceptable problem, because if you look, right, you can see it actually looks quite good, you know, despite the low quality trees like that one. I wonder if I can get up here. I think there's a barrier there stopping me from getting up there. But anyhow, the distance view is done by the LODs as well, so by keeping the LOD you get a good distance view. So it looks like an external town even though it's not. You know, it looks like it's in the world space, you know, where you can run around and just jump over the wall and carry on. But now, actually, as I was demonstrating, you can't. Well, you can get across there, but you can't get across that wall because there's a barrier in the way. So you've got the views, which is one of the best aspects of Skyrim. The other thing is, Beth Sarda did a really good job on the lore on Skyrim. I mean, they mucked up the game with bugs and other things, and it's difficult even finding a gate that matches there without screwing things up, because they didn't provide enough objects in the default game to make, well, to give me the options I had with Oblivion, for instance. Right, there's very little in Skyrim. The biggest achievement is that world you see out there and the lore. Right, they're the two best things about Skyrim. Objects, ingredients, creatures, bad guys, there's very few of them. They're all based on bandits or they don't respawn. There's lots of problems. So anyhow, I'm hoping to add a bit back. Right, that's floating a bit there, isn't it? I actually just recently lowered that, so I've forgotten to lower this. Anyhow, this is the world space here that I've made for Helgen, right? As you can see, it looks the part. It's not finished yet. I've got a lot more to do in here. I'm just going to walk around and tell you what I'm doing. Now, this is the civilian area here, where all the buildings are. Here you're going to have a market. This is going to be the central square for the civilians, where all the interesting stuff goes on. Right, down here, these buildings have all been decorated. Although, to be honest, I borrowed most of these areas from somewhere else for speed, but I will be going back and editing them. There you go. Now, Helgen is a town is an important stop off on the way to Cyrodiil. In fact, it's the only route that goes directly into Cyrodiil from Skyrim without going through Hammerfell first or Morrowind. So, anything that comes from the Imperial City comes through this town. As a result, it's going to have lots of people travelling back and forth. It's going to be fairly busy. People who will work around here or live around here will be in these houses here, but the inn will probably see most of the traffic. Part of the mod is going to involve lots of NPCs that come and go and disappear on a night and reappear a week later when they travel back, and they're all going to have to come through this inn. This is going to be the focus of all the travellers. It doesn't matter what side of the Civil War you're on, this is going to happen whether the Stormcloaks win or the Imperials win. But this here is where most of the passers-by are going to appear. I might even put some quests on some of them, so you can only do the quests while they're in the area or hear about things. There's quite a lot of options if you think about it when you deal with temporary NPCs that come and go. Now, if we just travel around here, you'll see the other buildings and stuff. I plan on putting a mine here. One of the upgrades you'll get is well, I'm getting ahead of myself. One of the upgrades to the town, which the person who runs the town will be able to do, is put a mine in the place and have some miners work it, and that's the spot I've reserved for it. There's also going to be a hunter which will leave the town and do some hunting and come back on a night. I'm not going to call this hunter Noddy Holder though. If anybody remembers the Renfier from the Elder Council mod I made for Oblivion, then you'll know the joke. Right, anyway, this is the gate again, more houses. Some of these are just going to be residents, some of them are going to be important enough and you'll see them doing things. I want to have an effect here where you've got like a guy sat here on a rocking chair, say, just looking out at the fort. And so when you come in, a bit like you did when you see it at the beginning of the game, when you're first introduced to Helgen, I want that effect again. So this is going to be the main street, we're leading all the way around. Now this bit here is the Imperial side at the beginning of the game. This is the Imperial fort. This is entirely military. So any military activity is going to be going on in here. Now at the beginning of the mod it's going to be Imperials. But I'm planning on supporting Stormcloaks as well, and I'm going to tell you why now. Now, I had plans for a Stormcrown mod. This is where the player gets to join the Legion and the I can't remember, the Secret Service for the Legion, and then they're in the game. I just can't remember the name, Petrus something or Colatus. But anyhow, and then if he wants, if he does the Dark Brother missions, he can go on to become Emperor because he is the heir to the Stormcrown according to all the lore in Skyrim. So the idea was he'd join the Legion, join the Secret Service and become Emperor. But because Steam has a limitation of 100 meg for uploads, that can't be done in a single mod. So I'm not doing it in a single mod, I'm doing it in 3 mods. And this is the first one. This first one solves the problem of supporting the Stormcloaks early on, because with this one I can support the Legion and the Stormcloaks. All I've got to do is enable and disable a few flags and NPCs in this fort, and then suddenly I've got a Stormcloak mod, you see. So part 1 of the Stormcrown series is going to be Return to Helgen, and Return to Helgen is going to support Stormcloaks and the Legion. Now let's just have a look in here, shall we? When I did this earlier, for some reason it was crashing out when I exited this door, right? But it didn't when I exited for the farms. I managed to fix it now, but I got no idea what was causing it. But it was nothing outside, it was something in here that was causing it. Anyhow, unlike the original Helgen where you can escape out the back tunnel, this is being fixed up now. I'll show you. I've also fixed all the exits, other exits and stuff. So I'm sure I keep deleting that gate. This by the way isn't finished decorating yet. I'm planning on doing some other stuff with this. This is actually a cleaned up copy of the original area. Remember that? This has been redone. In fact, this corridor doesn't actually line up properly at all, you know. The bits don't meet. In fact, in the original one you went in that door and came out this door. Remember? It's a portion that we always pick up. There's the barrel. Two bandits always stand here talking as he's coming that door. Anyhow, it's under new management now, so all this is going to be changing. Right, down here to the torture chambers. See? Now if we go down here, they're the prisons if you notice. Probably make use of that actually with some of the quests where you bring in prisoners. This is where the exit used to be, it's blocked off. I've actually got a startup quest, right, which means when you start this quest, or when this Helgen appears, that door is blocked off in the original tunnel as well. So you'll just see a wall, you won't be able to come back into Helgen. But anyhow, the idea behind this is to make it authentic, but at the same time support both sides. You know, the Imperials and the Stormcloaks. So all these banners are going to need to be linked up to some trigger to be enabled and disabled on cue. Just walk around here. Of course, I've got to make this functional, because right now it's not really a functional fort, is it? I mean, you've got several places where they can sit down and have tea. That's about it. Expect to see a little bit more in a fort like Helgen than that. So I mean, what is this area for instance? No, it's got no functional purpose, has it really? Anyhow, this is the way you came in originally. I'll decorate all that lot properly later. If we go out here, we go back into Helgen again. I'm toying with the idea of letting the player walk across the walls, but if you see the walls, in fact I'll show you, you see that bar in the middle there? I can't get up on that rock. That sticks up quite a way. It's like a gigantic step that NPCs can't get over, and every single part of this wall has them. So the NPCs can't actually walk around that wall. In fact, Beth only nav meshed little sections, like a section there and a section there, so the NPCs couldn't get off. Also, if you notice, this tower is back. That's weird. Do you know, I've actually moved that. Guess it's remembered where it was from my save, right? So we go up here. This is the bit where you could leap out. Still leap out, look. Difference is you'll probably get stuck if you did it now. What's forcing me? Something weird. I'm going to have to check that one again. It's probably one of those barriers I put up, probably intersecting the wall. Right, if we go up here, there we go. This is a better view. You can see the whole of Skyrim. Look, that's the Lod in the distance, right? These green trees in the foreground, they're real, weird colour ones, they're Lods. Level of detail trees basically. As you can see, there's loads of Lod objects there, all the pale ones. There's one close there, look, next to a rail tree. Can't do out about that, I'm afraid. But because we do have them trees, we've got that fantastic view from here. This is why I left this accessible, because it is a good view. I mean, look at it. I was toying with the idea of letting you walk across the roof there, but you can't in the original, so I think maybe I shouldn't in this. being able to access all areas, that's part of the fun, isn't it? So maybe I'll do something about that. There's definitely something intersecting there. I put collision things up to stop you jumping over the walls. Here's another thing, right? This door's never worked ever, right? But in this version, it does. As you can see, for the first time ever, the side door works. You get in and out of Helgen using it. Every door in this works, by the way. In the original, they didn't. Right? They were all just eye candy, because they never intended you to come back and go into one before it burnt down, so they never bothered making any of the interiors. But anyway, the idea is this place will be built once you... Actually, I've done it at the moment. I don't know if I'll keep it this. I've done it at the moment, but by the time you reach Solitude, usually a little while's past, people don't go directly to Solitude. But the first time you enter Solitude, you trip a trigger which I've placed near the main gate, which restores Helgen, right? Which is down here. And that makes this happen, all this happen. This will be a functional city without the player doing anything whatsoever. However, right, the Legion that's part of it here will be a bit leaderless. They won't have a leader, they'll just be running around. I might not even put any soldiers in here. I might allow it to be rebuilt by the actual citizens maybe. But anyway, the point is, the Legion would normally running this place, and they won't have a commander or anything. I mean, when you start doing the Legion quests or the Stormcloak quests, eventually you'll get to the point where you'll win, or you'll get to a certain rank. At that certain rank, you'll be assigned as commander of this fort. When you're assigned as commander of that fort, whatever side you're playing, Stormcloaks or Legion, that is what be assigned here. These banners, everything you see, are going to change to the side you've chosen. This will be your house here. Well, your building here, the commander's quarters. I'm still doing this, by the way, so it's not finished, but the others are, except for some tweaks I need to do. So you've got downstairs, which has got a wall stuck in the middle of the floor, a lost wall. Actually dragged the wall and changed the orientation on it, and it disappeared. I couldn't see it. The reason why I couldn't see it is because it's stuck between on the stairs, look. I'm still working on this anyhow. It's a bit hard getting these pieces to fit together, and I'm going to have to go back and check it all. But basically anyway, this is going to be the commander's area, your area, smack in the heart of Helgen, right next to the markets, the town square marker. So when you do fast travel to Helgen, you'll arrive right outside your own office. So the actual marker here is about there. That's where you fast travel to. So that's where it's the distance you are from your own little room. You might remember this, brother. This is the bit where you ran behind there. You got to here, in fact. You come down, you got to here, and there was a dragon right up there. And then you ran up here, through here, out through the front door there, come round here, and down there in the main quest. And now all this area here is going to be used up for different things to make the town look alive and busy. I'm not going to leave it at the same state as the original Helgen was. Another benefit actually of having custom world space for this, besides being able to start the game at any point you want and still be able to use this mod, is the frame rates aren't going to be low as a consequence of the surrounding terrain, because the surrounding terrain is basically eye candy. There's not a lot going on. Everything, the only NPCs and creatures you're going to get in this world space are literally within these walls. So I'm going to have more frame rate for other stuff, although at the moment, because I'm recording this, I'm only getting 15 frames per second, so I don't know how far I can go with that. Have you actually ever noticed actually that with the last few patches, right, these performance optimizations they've been making don't seem to have optimized anything. In fact, the performance seems to be getting worse. I found something else as well interesting, right? For years I used to do a jobs quest, which I used as in all my quests to update quests as I went along. So when I added new ideas, in order to support new games and update old saves, I used a job quest to kind of quietly update the player's save in the background without the player realising it being done. Well, I found scripts in Skyrim that indicate that Bethesda have started doing the same thing. So they've finally learned. Anyhow, this mine here, the miners are going to live in one of these buildings. I think I've got one dug out for it. I can't remember which one it is though. But I don't know what I'm going to put in there yet. Probably a simple one. But the idea is you're going to have to do a bit of smithing in one of these areas. I may actually put the smith maybe somewhere in one of these corners. Make it a proper little town there. Because I mean, let's face it, Skyrim's actually missing merchants. I mean, you can't really sell all your stuff, can you? A lot of the time, so it needs a few things. In fact, somewhere down here might be better as you get to come in. Maybe. As commander, you're going to be the governor of the town. You can't be a jail because the jail lives in Falkreath Hold, but you can be an imperial commander or stormcloak commander and run the place. So this is going to be your seat of power in Skyrim, the chance for you to rule, and the features I'm going to add to it are all going to be based around the fact that you can order people around. Usually your own men, because citizens don't like being ordered around. This is the mod that most people wanted, right? And this is the mod I've decided to actually make. I've got more comments for Helgen than anything else, with possible exception of a hunter mod, which I may just add to Helgen. I may add it maybe here, maybe add a building here so you can actually be in a hunter's lodge inside Helgen. It is a popular request, so it'd be worth doing it. Besides, a hunter's lodge on its own is a fairly easy mod to do, right? Because it's about hunt this creature, collect so many of this, so many of that. So it's not much of a problem adding it to Helgen, so it'll give you another reason for coming here. One of the things that kept me playing Oblivion for so long was because I did the Kavachi Aftermath mod real early on. I think it was within a couple of months or 3 months of the game being released. I was originally waiting for that Kavachi rebuild to be built, but they announced it early on and then it didn't build it for 2 years, or didn't release it for 2 years. So after 3 months I got bored of waiting and made my own. And because I did make my own, I used it as a kind of a fancy house, and it gave me a focus for my entire game. After that I was able to just keep coming back to Kavachi and keep adding features to it, making it what I wanted it to be. So as a result I got thousands of hours into Oblivion, whereas the original game, you get about 300 hours out of it usually, and then it's just you've ran out of things to do. But this place, I'm hoping will have the same effects on many of you. Once it's done, it'll give your game a focus. Although to be honest, you will need to join the Legion to actually, well, one of the sides in Civil War to actually gain control of your tower here. But besides that one point, it should focus your characters a little bit, give you somewhere to have fun and settle down. Might even have some minstrels playing in the town square here one day, and merchants the next. But as you can see, it's working now. Just needs NPCs. With a few NPCs and decorations inside there, this mod could be available by tomorrow. However, you're not going to see it tomorrow because I've got a website to upgrade tomorrow. But you will be seeing it fairly soon, hopefully. Remember, it doesn't take me long to make these mods. I can make them fairly quickly, and because I'm having to make smaller mods because of the limitations of Steam, that means I can make them faster as well. The Sylvania Hall mod's been getting some good comments, although to be honest it's not getting downloaded that much. There isn't a lot of people subscribing to it, despite the fact it's been on GameSpot and reviewed on there and a few other things. In fact, GameSpot, based on what I've seen, an advert on GameSpot's worth about 300-400 downloads on Steam, basically, just in case you're wondering. It's nice to see it getting the publicity, but let's just face it, shall we, that quest mods, especially my kind of quest mods, are a niche market. They don't appeal to a majority of users. I mean, I've got to know a little bit of everything to make them. I mean, I can make eye candy mods, I can make NPC mods, I can make companion mods, I can make any mod you care to name. And the reason why I can do it is because this is all of them. My mods encompass all of them areas. So the niche market mod, which is this type of mod, is the mod that requires a modder to know more about everything than any other type of mod available. The only thing I don't do is make the meshes and stuff, which I could do. I just don't like using Blender and I can't afford anything else. But I've made 3 already since the editor came out, and it's only been a couple of months since the nav mesh bug got fixed, so this has only recently becoming possible. I couldn't make this at all until they fixed that. By the way, people have been asking me about the Tilvani Hall mod, asking me if it's law friendly. Well, basically it uses the law as a basis for its story, so yes, it is law friendly. Bethesda until Skyrim didn't really do a good job on their lore, you know, they left lots of holes. So what the Tilvani Hall mod done is, it's assumed, right, that, well, not assumed, it's kind of like put a name to the Daedra that were attacking Morrowind, gave them a clan and a leader and made them the bad guys. And since the Tilvani were the ones facing him, or facing the Daedra mostly, trying to close the gates and failing, I've made that a background story to the whole mod. So you're basically dealing with the Daedra that attack Morrowind, and I blame all events that happen after that to Morrowind on the Daedra as well, like the kidnap Vivek, which causes the Ministry of Truth to crash into the Vivek city, which causes the Red Year where the Red Mountain explodes and that kind of thing, you know, because, you know, this god Vivek was the only one holding up the Ministry of Truth. So I've linked it all together. I mean, the law says it happens, I've just explained why it happened. It's kind of like filling in the blanks. So yes, it is law friendly, it uses the law to a great extent to actually create its story. It also tells you the kind of hardships that the Doom they go through. But Helgen, though, this is going to be about a port town. It's not going to be the same as Tilvani Hall or the Wizards of Winterhold. This is going to purely be about a town, like the Kvatch style town, running to a much smaller scale. So you're not going to see that kind of thing coming from this, but it will fill another important hole which people have often commented on, and that is Helgen. Right, that's it then. See you later.